All right, everybody. Let's talk about Ep.3, interracial marriage. So I'm going to start. I am in an interracial marriage. I'm married to a Puerto Rican man who I self-identify him as white because he told me he doesn't have a race, and I find that ridiculous. We live in America. Everybody is in a box, whether you want to be put in a box or not. Saying you don't want to be put in a box is a type of box, but I digress. So I'm going to talk about how I feel about interracial marriage, and is there a pattern, or is it the new trend? Is interracial marriage the new black? Like orange is the new black. Is interracial marriage the new black? So, growing up, they say every girl envisions her marriage and her spouse, and I never thought I would be married or end up with somebody who was non-black. It was not common to mix the races where I'm from. I grew up in a Caribbean Hasidic Jew neighborhood in Brooklyn. The Hasidic Jews married the Hasidic Jews, the blacks married the blacks, and the very, very few Hispanics we had, Mexicans or Ecuadorians, they married in their community. There was no mixing. The first interracial couple I did see lived in my building. They were very tall. It was a white man and a black woman, and they had interracial children. But we really didn't see the husband too much. We saw the children, and I just saw them as light-skinned black people. I didn't see them as biracial or mixed. The term biracial really wasn't used, or mixed. If you had black presenting features, you were black. If you had white presenting features, you were white. But where I lived, you were light-skinned black. So yeah, I fell in love with who I fell in love with. Basically, I predominantly dated black men my entire dating career. I did have a few dates with a Dominican man, but he had self-identified as, what's the term? Afro-Latino. That's the first time I've ever heard it. He didn't say black. After we had conversations, he asked me why I didn't say African American. I don't say African American. I say black. I don't say African American because, thanks to the history of this country, I cannot trace my ancestry back to Africa. I can only trace it back to the Caribbean. So I don't say African American because, to me, somebody like Charlize Theron would be more African American than me. She is from South Africa. She is African American. Or Trevor Noah. He's South African. He's African American. Me, I feel like half of my father's family is FBA, which is Foundational Black American, and his father is from the islands. And my mother family on both sides has been traced back to the islands. I haven't met anybody who has traced us back to some tribe in sub-Saharan African land. Just haven't. I will not do a DNA test because I think they're going to clone us. I'm a big conspiracy theorist, so I won't do a DNA test. Truthfully, I will not do like a 23andMe test because I feel like I will not have enough black to continue calling myself black, and that would be devastating to me. So let me live in my sweet denial and keep calling myself black. So back to interracial marriages. Currently, I know more interracial couples than I do black on black, white on white, as far as my social circle. The two closest couples that me and my husband hang out with, they're interracial. Black and Puerto Rican, Asian, and Dominican, Hispanic, Spanish. I do have some coworkers in my age group who are black on black, but even then, it's a light skin black or biracial black and a black woman. So I don't know. I do know. I'm sorry. There's a few theories I have on why interracial marriages are more prevalent now than they were, say, 30 years ago. I mean, yes, there was interracial marriages 30 years ago, but I didn't see them on my Honey Nut Cheerios commercial. Like the earliest interracial and the only interracial marriage I studied was loving the couple Loving for Virginia, which, their story and their court case legalized the interracial marriages. So that's the only one I saw. And sadly, I didn't learn about that until the movie came out. So fail to the education system for not teaching. I know more about Russian oligarchy than I do about true American history. Sad. Thank you, Google, for giving me a platform to learn more than international history. It's bullshit. Anyway, so I have a couple theories as to why there's more interracial relationships. I feel like the access to the 1% has grown. We are no longer staying in our historically black colleges. We're venturing off to PWI. PWI is predominantly white institution. So, a lot of minorities are attending more PWIs when they used to be limited to just going to black colleges. We're getting hired in more management positions and having more access to different families that are not our own. Also, I feel like dating websites have a lot to do with it. I wouldn't know where to pick up white boys. If I didn't work where I worked and I stayed in my community, I would have no idea where to find the white boys at. Like, where's that song? Where the white bitches at? Where the white boys at? I wouldn't know. And having access to white boys' social dating sites, gives us access. And also, like, white boys who want chocolate, they'll go on the dating websites. That helps with the mixing. And going deeper, I feel like there's a fetishism of black men from non-black women. I think Barack Obama helped. Everybody, you want to Tiger Woods, Barack Obama baby, so they sort out black men. If you frequent Pornhub like I do, there's a whole section called breeding. And breeding is just buck black men coming in white women. So, having the mixed baby now is a trend. Everybody the white girls want babies with some color and some texture in the hair. I don't know if it's like a fad, like little chihuahuas. Everybody used to have these little dogs who couldn't even stand up on their hips were bad because they were so inbred, but everybody wanted these teacup pets and these designer pets. Maybe they're doing that with their children. Who knows? I'm just going too deep, I guess. So I looked up some stats and I was alarmed that black men marry outside of the race more than every other race combined. Black men marry outside their race more than every other race combined. Something to think about. Why is that? My theory. You don't like the way you look, the self-hate, your big nose, your dark skin. You do everything to breed that out. White women, Asian women, non-black women are more docile. They're less likely to check you on your shit. They allow you to, what I feel, get away with a level of disrespect that you won't get from a black woman. We'll fucking check you. You're not going to walk in here 1 o'clock in the morning and not ask you where you are and you're going to say out and crawl into the bed and fuck. No, you're going to be checked. You're going to be yelled at. You're going to be screamed at. And that comes from a black woman. Also, I feel like white women, I'm going to stop saying white women, non-black women allow you to have these secret lives. We call them beards. A white woman is the best beard. Look at Jamie Foxx. White woman. They allow you to have this secret life that a black woman would check you on. what was that movie with Janet Jackson? I think it was a Tyler Perry movie, and she was like, you mean to tell me you let men bend you over and fuck you? And he was like, who you think you talking to? I don't let nobody fuck me. That was a black woman telling him that. A white woman would never. So non-black women make the best beards. And what was my other reason why men date outside the race? Oh, it's funny. They date outside the race, but they want the body, the lips, the hips, the ass of a black woman. They just don't want the black woman. And I really think that black men have used black women to throw themselves on the front line because we are your protesters. When you get shot down by the police, we are the ones out there advocating, and you don't want us. You don't want us. You show us you don't want us by dating or marrying outside the race. Now they'll fuck you and they'll give you a baby by accident, but they marry the white women. I don't know many black men who cohabitate with white women and not marry them. They marry them. But so I feel like for black women, marrying outside their race is not their first choice. It wasn't mine. It's not like we go, well, most of us educated black women don't go, ooh, let me go find a white man. No, we want black kings. Black kings don't want us. So we go with who likes us. I people like, what's your type? I like who likes me. I like who's going to treat me good. And unfortunately for you black men who I gave lots and lots of chances to, the one that treated me the best is my husband, who's not black. I mean, that could also be a cultural thing. He grew up with both parents in the house. He knew what a marriage is supposed to look like. And maybe that has something to do with it, that the black American family has been so torn down by oppression, discrimination, incarceration, that these 1980s black men who were raised by mothers who had to work 2-3 jobs, or the crack era, really decimated a whole generation. That could be it too. But look at your celebrities. Look at your Supreme Court justice, her white king, sitting there supporting her every day with his patriotic socks on. Serena Williams, she dated quite a few black men before she got her white Reddit king. Me. So I believe that the women, black educated women, black women, have had to resort to marry outside of the race, to be married, just to be married and start a life and make, busting your ass in school, sacrificing your life, climbing the corporate ladder, make it all worth it so that you can come home to your husband, your 2.5 kids, your house with the white picket fence, and your two cars. Black men are not making this life possible for black women. They're making it possible for white women. And if you don't know who Dr. Umar is, just take a soft Google search. He's a loud, outspoken black man who has a lot of his own issues. But to what he said is, when a black man marries outside of the race, he is hurting the black community financially. And he goes on to say that money, when that black man dies, that money, his pension, his assets, that is going to a white woman. That is not going to a black woman who's then going to pass it on, to other black family members. Children who have a white mother or a white father who are biracial, black and white, the majority of them marry white. They don't marry black. So you could say, yes, he's leaving that money to his children, but his children are marrying white. That money is going back for, it had to be in the white hands to go into the black hands. than to go back into the white hands. You know, they say like the black dollar circulates in the black community one time, but it circulates 100 times or 10 times in the white community. That money is leaving the black community, and it's sad. You know, I'm doing a service to my people. I married a white man. I'm taking that money. So if anything, I'm helping the black community by marrying interracial, because I'm taking that white money back. But when a black man marries a non-black woman, that money is leaving. So I don't know if it's a trend. I don't know. Look at Nick Cannon. I think he has one child with a fully black woman. That supermodel he just had a baby with, she's black. But all the other 155,000 children are from, biracial women, Hispanic women. But, he's not making black children. Except for the one that he has. I think that was a fluke. But, is it a trend? I'm not sure if it's a trend. I believe it's access. We now have access to the races that we didn't have access to before, because we were free, but we were segregated. We lived with ourselves, with our own kind. We worked with our own kind, and education and opportunities have allowed the races to mingle. And now we are mingling when it comes to marriage and procreation and making children. I'm here for it. I just, if America was fair with black and white, this wouldn't be an issue. But I believe it's an issue when you have black men of substance, not Pookie and and the guy that only knows how to fuck and don't have a job and do. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the Howard University graduate, Q-Dog, that works in corporate America with a pension and investments. He's not marrying black women. He's not marrying his black counterpart. He's marrying a white woman who 9 times out of 10 is lesser on the social economic scale as he is. She's pretty. She know how to suck a dick. She don't talk back. She's reaping the benefits of a black man that was molded from a black woman. That's all I have to say about interracial marriage. If you're watching it and you have some comments or something you think I missed, let's chat. If there's enough comments and stuff I missed, maybe there'll be a part 2. Thanks for watching. Take care, everybody.